Where do you guys get like the references to give the character that you guys have, bring it like to life? Kind of like you, like the mom voice. Like, how did you?
How I originally did it was my audition was trying to voice match the Canadians from Ocean Dub when Funimation took over, and that was for me in 1999. And then we just morphed it into my voice. But basically, Christopher Sabat was like, she's rough. Like, she's rough. She is a trash princess, and she's crazy.
What does that mean exactly?
Because she is a princess, but like she's still white trash. Yes, toxic femininity. So I don't know. And after 23 years, it just is natural.
Right. Use it as a reference point. The dub, the Ocean Dub, right?
See, I didn't reference anything. They just came up with, we want you to do this voice, and I'm like, do you like this? And then they said, okay, add a little more rasp. And I said, okay, how about this? Is that enough rasp?
Right.
Then it became that, and then months later, I would have to hear myself, and then I would mimic myself.
But then also now that they didn't show us the Japanese version first.
Right.
Now they'll show us the scene in Japan. So if she's yelling, I can see
You
what
can
her
see the face.
I can hear how loud, the tone.
Right.
That helps.
I guess in English, like the evil characters usually have like a more high-pitched voice, and in Japanese it's more like
More
deeper.
subdued.
Yeah, like Frieza in Japanese is like really deep.
Yeah.
You know, that's my question.
So following direction more than
But I
anything.
think the Japanese Frieza was a man.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
She got to meet him too.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're so lucky. I'll never have that mom.
Who else gets their inspiration and how?
I got mine from Barry Watson. He wanted me to be very, he's a Carol Burnett. You know, whatever. I can't do it,
Basically, your director kind of helps.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
but
Yeah.
steer the boat.
Right.
Yeah,
Where did you get your reference?
I was performing in a comedy troupe with Chris Rager and Mike McFarlane. You might know as Master Roshi and a lot of other things. And I was doing a character called the Pillsbury Homeboy.
Yeah.
Now you have to do it.
Right, I've been doing that for a few years. It was basically the Pillsbury Doughboy gets jumped on his way home from school one day by the rival gang, the Keebler Elves.
Because baked goods go to school, okay?
Baked goods. They're baked bads. If you're
And so before then, he was all wholesome. Nothing says loving like my crescent rolls. But after he gets jumped, he's like, nothing says loving like the blunts I be puffing. So Chris Sabat
That's
saw me
tobacco
do
kids.
that.
Pay attention.
And he's like, I think I found a voice in Washington.
Yeah.
And so I came in and he gave me the 411 about the big pink one and that he's just a big baby, just wants to eat candy. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. And then they gave me the first line and it was no line,
Oh, it was just sound.
just a reaction.
Right.
And that was the rest of
My favorite thing about that story, though, is
That was
like,
the rest of the script.
It took about the third time Josh came in to realize that he officially had this part now. Like, he came in and was like, I hope they let me keep this part. It's just a bunch of noises, man, you know?
Yeah. Felt like
I mean, after
By the third time, he's like, I think I got this part.
they keep calling you back.
After 3 days of going, I thought,
Right.
okay.
Yeah. My part was a lot of reactions. First off, too, Gohan was like a side kind of actor. He's always watching. Whoa! How many times do we have to do that? You know, 117 different ways. And so I remember I felt like a reactress. They called me the reactress because most of my lines early on were just mostly reactions. Shock and awe. Open mouth. Closed mouth. Shock and
Yeah,
awe.
yeah,
And,
yeah. Clenched teeth, overcut.
Right. Yeah. So I got experience doing that whether I liked it or not.
Yeah. And I
Exertions, right?
Yeah, a lot of exertions.
They don't teach you that in regular acting classes.
Right. We had to kind of come up with those.
And
And when I auditioned for Pan, I didn't have a voice reference. They just described the character and I did my thing. But very similar to Josh, it took me multiple episodes to know that I had my job, because when I audition, I have asthma. And so a couple of times a year, I'll have these bouts where I cough and my voice sounds different. So for my audition, I was having asthma and my voice was, I can't even do it. It was a little more gravelly and more raspy. So I auditioned with a rasp. When I booked the job, the rasp, like that.
Little rasp, huh?
Little rasp. When I booked the job, the rasp was gone. And so in my head, I was, doing, yeah, Grandpa, going, oh, are they going to keep me? So it's like a couple of episodes in going, okay, I think I've got it.
Yeah.
I think I'm here.
And then when Cynthia got hers, didn't we? You told me that we weren't sure we had it because we were cast and then not called for a few
So
months.
normally in most actors,
our
whether
lines.
it's theater or commercial or on-camera stuff, you get cast and then you're told immediately when rehearsal or when your call time is. And so I got on my voicemail that I got my part, and then I didn't hear her. So like a month later, I
Like
called.
I was in the head of this Barry Watson.
No, I called Savage, and I was like, did I make up that I got this part? He's like, no, we just haven't got.
Right.
3 months. I didn't come in, and so once a month I would call and go, are you sure I didn't make up?
Well, and sometimes projects get dropped or they don't ever come to fruition. So I
We didn't
remember
know it was
thinking,
gonna be this
maybe I
big.
didn't
We had no
really.
idea.
No.
Well, my thing is we started recording in the Namek saga, and so Bulma is on a planet by herself being chased by dinosaurs. So I just thought I died. Like, because when they didn't call me for a really long time, I was like, oh, I guess that was a great career. Recording session that I did that one time. That was awesome.
It's Dragon Ball Z. Can give you a wish back to life.
And then we did Dragon Ball, and I was like Ron Burgundy. I'm like, I'm kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
So the question was, what was our inspiration behind our characters?
Right, just how you bring the life to the character.
Mine was Hulk Hogan.
I love it.
That's it.
Yours was what?
Hulk Hogan.
Oh, yeah.
Because he had the Hogan stash. He just had much more hair than Hulk Hogan did. Everything else was the same, as far as I was concerned.
Some of the side characters on it, you guys had like references from your friends or some of your relatives. Like I had a villager that I did in Dragon Ball, and I referenced my Rhode Island Polish relatives, like,
Oh, yes, she's kind of like this. Oh, it's a rounded little boy.
and so I used like mimicking of my own family.
That sounds like Marge
It's a
Simpson.
cool
It totally
Totally sounds like
did.
Marge Simpson.
Is that how you guys come up with new characters, by like improv skits, like the homeboy, like the Pillsbury homeboy, or you guys already have it in your head?
I mean,
We
I
all have
definitely,
voices in our
I
head.
definitely use
do.
improv
We have to
to
ignore them a lot of the
inspire
time.
me.
We mimic the voices in our head.
Yeah.
That's what we do. We've
Because
learned how
improv
to-
is about choices and selling those choices,
Right.
making
On
a
the
choice
spot.
and committing to it, and not worrying about a voice per se,
Right.
but making a choice who this person is, who this character is, and even if it's a small little quick something, you just gotta make a choice. You gotta sell that choice.
I like to use
Improv.
the Alexander technique where your posture is extreme.
I didn't say anything weird like that.
No, I didn't.
Sometimes it can be, what does the character, like for Shin Chan, if anybody's seen Shin Chan, it's a weird show, and I saw Mitzi, and she looks like a real nerd, and so I decided sounded like this, and so it just came out, like, based on to me what she looked like. I think we get our ideas from all kinds of things.
Sure.
And it's different with each director, because I know with East Kai, they had already chosen someone, I don't know who, but I was already in there recording, so, oh, hey, we got 30 minutes left, try out for this role, what do you think she'd sound like? And East Kai came on the screen, and I'm like, oh, of course she'd sound like this! And they loved it, and I got it, so I don't know who was supposed to have it, sorry. I mean, so sometimes somebody will come in and give a better rendition based on the director's needs.
And I think you did Trunks, you got credited for Trunks,
Baby
but
Trunks, I
I'm
think she
sure
did
I
Baby
did
Trunks
Baby Trunks too.
Right.
So.
You didn't get credit.
No.
Right, I don't know, I don't know how.
I did Baby Trunks
If
too.
you were already there.
No.
If you could.
That actually happened when
They didn't let me do baby anything.
Baby noises.
Can't imagine why.
Right?
Now, with Frieza, I had to imitate the ocean dove.
Right.
Did you?
Actress. And that's how I got Frieza. And I was actually imitating all sorts of voices, and I was really surprised I got Frieza because, you know, they just asked me to put the gravel in my voice, so I did.
Yeah.
But it's not something I did a lot.
Right.
So when they called and said, you've got a part, and I said, it's Frieza, which one is it? They said the one with the gravelly voice, and I was like, oh.
You're in for it.
But it was great, I enjoyed it. I found a place to place it where it didn't hurt my voice or anything.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
She
Because
used
some of
the
us are
Alexander
singers.
technique.
I
Yeah.
used the Alexander technique.
Yeah, 'cause we're singers, Linda and I. Some of these others are singers too. And so I was singing in a band at the time, and you sing in a band, and we still sing. But I don't know if I mean, we had to find ways to not just completely thrash our voice. But I don't know about you, I kind of ended up thrashing it anyway.
I thrashed mine.
'Cause, like-
Screaming for pages at a
Right,
time.
screaming, yes, yes. Because Cell Saga Gohan for me was completely different from Kid Gohan. I mean, he was a man. He was like this, "Wah!" You know, just constantly screaming.
I didn't do any screaming.
Your presence was screaming out.
So John, what about you?
For Tien specifically, the assignment was to try to voice match previous actor who was Tien was. There was the Ocean dub, and then Tien was played briefly by a guy named Chris Kaysen. So I did my best to impersonate Chris Kaysen. It failed miserably. And rather than recast me on the spot, Barry Watson and Chris Sabat shrugged at each other and went, "Well, I guess that's what Tien sounds like now." And they just kept rolling with it, so there you have it.
That's a cool
Yeah.
story.
All right, guys, let's keep the questions rolling.